U.S. state capitol gets locked down by snow, not war, not a blackout, but because there's almost no road way out. The first heavy flakes hit, and Juneau starts turning into a frozen island, right in the middle of its own homeland. In December 2025, the official Juneau station recorded 82.0 inches of snow, a record. It sounds like a statistic until roofs groan, docks sag under the load, and streets vanish beneath wet, cement-heavy snow. If you like breakdowns that stay intense but stick to verified numbers, subscribe now and stay with me. What comes next isn't just weather. It's survival lessons you can actually use when the next storm hits. Welcome to Global Weather Disasters. We don't just retell disasters, we verify the data, explain the mechanics, and bring it down to one question. If this hit my city tonight, what would keep me alive? Quick note, official totals come from standardized stations, often airports, so they're comparable over time. Neighborhood totals can swing higher or lower due to wind, drifting, and terrain. This script sticks to published benchmarks. Back to Juneau. The city is squeezed between mountains and sea. Snow isn't falling on a wide plain, it's pouring into a tight infrastructure funnel. Every hour adds weight to roads, roofs, power lines, and supply routes. Juneau's snow wasn't just deep, it was wet and heavy. It sticks, compacts, and gains weight day after day, the kind that turns one shovel into lifting stone and turns weak roofs into sudden collapse risks. That wet snow usually forms when Pacific moisture surges in, but surface air stays cold enough for flakes to survive. It's the worst mix, heavy, sticky snow that clings to trees and wires, then hardens into a dense load you can't shake off.
So look at that. You can't even see the front of the house because they've got everything all sitting in front of it. Still have to do the back half of the roof, but
Local reports described structural damage and multiple boats sinking at the docks under the load. Imagine going to sleep, then waking up to a harbor that's changed. Boats sitting lower, silent, dragged down inch by inch. And here's the twist. Juneau can't just drive out. It isn't connected to the main highway system. So when flights delay or ferries slow, it's not inconvenience. It's isolation, medicine, fresh food, repair parts, all pushed back. Airport delays don't just strand travelers. In a roadless capital, they can slow mail, medical shipments, and even critical repairs. The storm turns logistics into a countdown, while the snow keeps stacking on the clock. Then comes the brutal question, where do you put this much snow? Once storage sites fill up, plowing to the curb just locks your own streets. Snowbanks rise, visibility disappears, lanes choke, and ambulances lose precious minutes. That's why Alaska allowed Juneau to dump relatively clean snow into the Gastineau Channel as an emergency measure while excluding dirty highway snow. It sounds unreal, but it proves the city hit the limit. Snow became a logistics crisis. And just when you think it can't get worse, Juneau faces another blade overhead: urban avalanches. Alaska DOT and PF did hazard reduction work on Thane Road and closed avalanche gates during operations. Here, danger isn't only on roofs, it can roar off the mountain. To keep people from guessing, avalanche messaging was simplified into action words: be ready, get set, and go when told. Because in a city built under steep slopes, waiting for one more update can be the mistake you don't get to undo. A fast-loading snowpack stays dangerous even after snowfall slows. A small warm-up, or a switch to rain, can add weight, destabilize slopes, and turn buried drains into slushy street flooding.
There's my truck right here. We tried to dig it out yesterday. All right, this is day 5.
Well, it's finally a little snowy out here in Wasilla, Alaska. So we're getting a pretty...
Now to Anchorage, a different punch, faster, sharper, still devastating. The National Weather Service confirmed that on January 7, 2026, Anchorage logged 9.6 inches in a single day, breaking a long-standing record. Local reporting also described roughly 19.4 inches over a short stretch. For a city, that kind of burst is enough to overwhelm removal crews overnight, turn commutes into gridlock, and push emergency response times into the danger zone. In Anchorage, the problem isn't just plowing, it's removing snow. When intersections become walls, visibility drops, crashes rise, and fire and EMS slow down. The longer snow sits, the harder it compacts, forcing the city to protect emergency corridors first.
So look at that. You can't even see the front of the house because they've got everything all sitting in front of it. Still have to do the back half of the roof, but...
And don't forget the killers after the storm, inside your own home. Snow can block furnace vents. A generator placed wrong can flood the air with carbon monoxide. In deep cold, CO doesn't need drama, only minutes of carelessness. Shoveling is another gauntlet. Move slowly. Break it into short rounds. Rest often. If you have health conditions, get help or hire service if you can. Surviving the storm is one thing. Surviving the 48 hours after is what many underestimate. In the end, winter disaster isn't just how much snow fell, it's what it fell on. Roofs, power lines, harbors, emergency routes, and supply chains. When nature moves faster than infrastructure, the chain reaction explodes. If this story shook you, share it with someone in a snow zone. Subscribe for verified breakdowns, not hype. Because the next storm won't ask if you're ready. And the best time to prepare is before the first flake hits the ground.